Hello and welcome back. So glad that I can make your acquaintance once more on this edition of The Table Read. Girl, we have a few batches of tea to discuss. Number one, somebody on Twitter shot me a tweet about some article about Kim Kardashian. And no tea, if I never heard about the Kardashians / Jenners ever again in my life, it would be too soon. It would be too soon. But I digress. So the article is basically talking about the fact that she is basically rocking a doobie in her head and how all the girls are saying it's so high fashion and looks amazing, so forth and so on. But those same girls were chopping Rihanna, you know, when Rihanna wore a doobie at the VMAs or whatever it was that she did where she came to the stage with the VMAs. Now, I will say this, no shade. Let me start with this just because we have to be honest about the conversation. I do think that the way Kim got it styled, I have not actually seen anybody styled that way. I could definitely see how people could make the comparison, draw the comparison that maybe, because I'm looking at the pictures I'm talking now, I can maybe see how people would say maybe it kind of looks like it could be inspired by a doobie, but it's really not a doobie. That's number one. Number two, I also think that the way she got it styled looks better than the way Rihanna had her style. I do recall thinking that they got right underneath Kim, they got Rihanna. And to me, Rihanna's look kind of gaudy. Not just her hair, but just the overall look. And for some reason, I thought it looked better when I saw the performance. But now that I'm looking at this picture, it kind of looks tacky to me. Like, she got the rhinestone. Like, she's giving me, like, Phaedra back on her baby shower. Remember when she had the baby shower? Just real over the top and gaudy. And just too much. So I will start by saying that. I think that Kim's look, you're drawing the comparison, but it's not a doobie. I can see how it was inspired by a doobie, but it's not a doobie, number one. Number two, her look actually looks better than Rihanna. That's just the whole bottom line. Then they also have a picture of Lala, who looks to have a similar hairdo as Kim. But I still think that Kim's looks better, even better than hers. Now, I don't know if Lala was actually wearing it as a style, or if that's just, the look that she's wearing before they actually take the pins out and comb her hair down. I don't really know what she's going for. But, so I want to just preface it by saying that I think that Kim's look looks better than both of the looks that they presented. That being said, the issue that I have, because the article is basically talking about cultural appropriation. And this is something that I don't know if I have the popular opinion, an opinion that you all share. I really don't know where people sit with this conversation. But my view is I don't really give no fucks about people appropriating or wanting to be a part of black culture. But the operative word, a part. Okay, girl, that means that you are a part of what we're doing. You're not trying to usurp, infringe upon, steal and or otherwise abuse, take advantage of, or take credit for something that you know good and goddamn well you did not create. That is when I have the issue. But if it's somebody, anytime I see a white person that is a fan of like certain like black artists or certain things that are like that black culture made popular, because everything that is popular black people did not create. Okay, that's the thing. So like for instance, we didn't create football or basketball, but at the same time, or even baseball, but at the same time, those are sports that black people dominate in. You understand? So my point is, anytime you have a black person that makes something popular, whether or not they initially brought it to the table or didn't, because even when you think about fashion, we are not, the vast majority of designers that black people rock, they are not black people who are creating these fashions. However, you have a lot of black people that are fashionistas that put the outfit together in such a way that makes it pop, and then everybody else wants to rock it that way too. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, it's not so much a problem. Oh, there's a YouTuber on TV right now. I don't know what's this commercial for. I'm not exactly sure what this is for, but I know her. When I went to the YouTube event that they had, she was one of the people that I socialized with, and she was real cool, her and her husband. But I digress. Who actually is an interracial couple. But in any case, I digress. The point is, to me, cultures are going to be influenced by other cultures. But I think what I have an issue with it is when a black person will do something and the first thing people want to say is, oh girl, that's ghetto. She country as fuck. She ignorant. Like with Beyonce, for instance. People love to call her country and ignorant. But they don't say that when Carrie Underwood show up on the set. You know what I'm saying? With her, it's like, oh, she's a Southern belle. She got a Southern twang. Like, it's complimentary. So even when it's like the same thing, it's like, that's the issue that I think that to me is the bigger issue. I think the bigger issue is when a black bitch will do something and it's ghetto, but then a white girl can turn around and do it and somehow it's like critically acclaimed. You know what I'm saying? Like, but didn't I just do that? But somehow she does it and it's the bomb. I did it and it tanked. Like, I don't see what the difference is. But see, that's what it is. I think that I think some of our white brothers and sisters, because you have to also think about something. The reason why they do that is because even in the black community, when people say, oh, and I've even said this because I know it to be true. When people say, okay, so forth and so on is just in the black community, but she is not mainstream. When they say mainstream, what they're really saying, they don't really mean everybody likes them. What they mean is white people like them. Oh, she transcended past the black community into white homes. They're not even talking about the Asian girls. They're not talking about the Latinos. They don't give no fucks about them. The only girls they really care about are the white girls. If the white girls receive you, then then you've made it. Now, they will use the black girls as a sounding board. And then once they get popular with the black girls, then they will segue into the white girls' households. And then they feel like, okay, they didn't really make it when only the black girls featured them. But now that the white girls see it for them, suddenly now they've arrived. Do you see it's a mentality too? It's a mentality too. So it's just really a lot with that. And another thing too, this is a sidebar to the conversation, but to me, I kind of feel like, when people say, oh, the Latinos are a minority, the black girls are a minority, I don't think so. Because you know what? Everywhere I go, I see an abundance of black girls. So if there's so much a minority, how come everywhere I go, there they are? It's like every time I turn around, I'm seeing another black bitch. No matter what the area is, girl. Whether it's the suburbs, whether it's the rural area or the city. I'm seeing black bitches all over the goddamn place. Now, here's my thing. I feel like you can't go off the census because the whole bottom line is, I feel like the majority of the black girls are not doing the census, girl. That's the reason why you keep thinking we're the minority, Miss Thing. Is because every time the census come out, girl, the white girls will fill it out. The black girls don't give no fucks. Them Latino girls don't give no fucks, bitch. The only girls that really give a fuck are the white girls. And maybe these Asian girls, with all due respect to my Asian girls. But they're the only ones that be giving a fuck. Don't nobody else really care about doing this paperwork so that people can say, oh, it's the majority white girls or black girls, etc. I think that it's probably equal. Because everywhere I go, I just feel like if it's so much a minority, let's just put it like this. If you went to China, you want to talk about a minority, that's how you'll know where the real minorities are. Because you go to China, bitch, how many black girls can you spot at the marketplace? It's going to be like Waldo up in that bitch. Okay, girl? Can you spot that? Carmen Sandiego, where in the world has she gone? You know what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to get when you go to China. When you go to India, then you will see, if you see a white girl, then you can really see the real minorities when you go to places like that. But in America, I feel like the black girls, I don't think we're the majority, but I don't think it's like a minority. I don't think the Latino girls are a minority. I don't think the black girls are. I just think we're not filling out that goddamn census is what it is. Because like I said, every place I go, there's an abundance of black girls. No matter where I go, girl, you can't seem to get away from us. So how is it a minority when I see more black girls when I go out than I ever do white girls? And the area I currently live is considered a white area. When I go to the market, I'm seeing majority black girls. And even when I go to the one that, because the Kroger I go to is the so-called rundown one. But you see how they do? When majority black girls go, it's the rundown one. The other one, I will say it is somewhat to a certain extent rundown, just aesthetically. Let's just be realistic. But in general, I feel like when it's a majority black situation, it's always problematic. Like, oh, it's the rundown one, that's the ghetto one. But then you go to the white one, that's the nice one. Even if all things being considered, it's the same. You get what I'm saying? So it's really a mentality. To me, that's the bigger issue, is that when a black woman or man does something, it's ghetto, it's trashy, it's gaudy, whatever the case may be. But then if a white girl turns around and does it, suddenly now, oh, she's eclectic, she's out the box, she's original, it's all these titles that they're handing this bitch, when she's literally just mimicking what we just presented to you and you turned it down. So to me, that's a bigger issue, because why is it that the only way you'll see us is if you see it on a white person? Eminem comes into the conversation. Suddenly now, everybody wants to make it seem like hip hop. I was watching something. They were like, "Oh, these were the golden days of hip hop," and they were referencing Eminem. Like, "Oh, that was the golden time." What made that the golden time? Because before him, you had Biggie, you had Pac. I mean, girl, you had a multitude of girls. Lauryn Hill, like you had a multitude of girls that were slaying the game in terms of hip hop before Eminem even arrived on the scene. But they're so happy to dub him and crown him as overall legendary mother of the house of hip hop. even though he did not actually create it, and even though it was already an established category before he arrived. Adele comes into the scene, and suddenly now the girls want to praise her. Even though I feel like Amy Winehouse slayed her, but I digress. The point is, okay, a white girl comes in and she has a tone and a soul about it that is reminiscent of a black vocal. Something that when you hear it, you be thinking, even if you don't see her face and you hear the voice, because I imagine everybody who heard Duffy, Amy Winehouse, Adele, Christina Aguilera, Jessie J, these type of vocalists, before you knew who they were, you probably assumed them to be black because you hear those type of vocals all the time in the black community. That ain't nothing really new. But to the white community and the general public, they probably felt like, oh my God, we can't have, girl, she is giving us, she's serving it to us. But to me, Jasmine Sullivan was singing Amy Winehouse under the rafters. Kiki Wyatt, we can go down the laundry list and serve you a vote and give you, for every white girl you have, we could give you 3 black girls that are serving you a vocal that's on that level or better, but they're not making it though. Because I feel like white girls want to hear that voice when it's on a white girl. That to me is the bigger problem. That we can't be seen or appreciated unless it's coming out of Robin Thicke or Justin Timberlake's mouth. That to me is the bigger issue. I don't give no fucks about her wearing a doobie or wearing box braids. But why is it when she does it, it's classy, but if I did it, it was trashy? That's the issue. Why is it that she can take something we do all the time and you for us, you be wanting to tell us that it's unprofessional, but she walks up in there with bobby pins on her head and suddenly now it's elegant? Like, how did that happen? That to me is the issue. But we're going to segue up off of that and move on down to something that happened to me recently. I thought I talked about it on the podcast. And then I realized that I said I was going to talk about it and actually was supposed to talk about it on the table. So we're going to move on down to the next conversation, bitch. Let me move on down to these black gay queens up in the LGBT community and read them for filth real motherfucking quick, bitch. Not all, of course, like I say, anytime I'm talking about these conversations, I'm not talking about all the girls. Just like when I was talking about the white girls just then, obviously not all white girls are like that. So, use your own discretion. It's clear that I'm just talking about this particular type of girl. But I had gone to Ross. And make a long story short, I was in motherfucking Ross and I was doing my shopping. Which, by the way, don't Ross kind of look like a thrift store, no shade? Don't she look and smell it? She, to me, looked like a thrift store, and she also smell reminiscent of a thrift store, girl. And tell me I'm wrong. Every time I go up in there, girl, she got her racks all set up like a thrift store, bitch. She be smelling, she reeks of mothball. And what killed me about her, and she got the audacity to smell like a mothball, but then she thinks she gonna spray some perfume over top of that and think that's going to suffice. But girl, it's not, because bitch, I still smell this moth. Okay, girl, she's still fluttering her wings all up and through the establishment, but I digress. Okay, so here it is. I'm inside the Ross, and I'm with my partner. And actually how we had gotten there, or how we got there, was because we was at Target. And what happened was we were looking for pots and pans, the new pot and pan set. And I told him, I said, I don't want no pot and pan, especially since I'm realizing as I'm getting older now, I have different allergies that be kicking up in my system, and then my skin be irritated, and it be irritated for like a week. You know what I'm saying? So I actually, I don't know if I talked about this already, but I need to go and do a patch test to see exactly what it is. I think one of the things that I'm allergic to is this neoprene latex rubber, because girl, the area that I'm breaking out right now is the area where when I'm working out, I do my waist trainer that's supposed to help you sweat. That entire area is completely and totally broken out. So I'm almost certain that's one of the things that I have to do away with. But the reason why you don't see me with my jewelry is because until I do my patch test, I really don't want to have any type of precious metal or anything around on my person up until I know that it's clear for me to do it, which I'm praying that that's not a cause of me breaking out. But until I have clearance, girl, until I get clearance and validation or confirmation that it's not an issue, then I will discontinue wearing her up until I know that it's good for my skin, or not a problem rather. Okay, but anyway, so I told myself I don't want these pots and pans. That to me should be outlawed. These so-called non-stick pans, don't use those, you guys. You wanna know why? Because those pans, when you're cooking, the paint it peels off the pot, and you wanna know what? It ends up in your food. It ends up in your food. And so I told myself, we need new pots and pans, and I don't want nothing with no paint on it. I don't want no non-stick paint, none of that bullshit that they like to advertise. Because when it comes off into your food and your body, it's like those chemicals are in your body. Because it's the chemical that they're using to make the food not stick to the pan to start with. So now it's in your body, and your body is dispersing that into your system. You understand? So to me, I told myself, stainless steel, 100%. Either that or it needs to be like ceramic, something that's not going to pill, like something that the product is what the product is. It's not paint on the pot. So as I was talking, it was this white woman. She overheard me talking. She said, oh, well, you know what? No shade. The prices here are a little steep in Miss Target Girl, but no shade. If you're going down to Miss Ross, she probably have a pot and pan set for half the fucking price, bitch. No shade. So I was like, well, girl, no tea. After we leave Target Girl, let's book it on down to Miss Ross and see if they have the pot and pan set. Now, bitch, we was just supposed to go up in there for that pot and pan set. Girl, we went up in there, girl. Girl, I ended up getting like 4 or 5, 6 products, bitch, that had nothing to do with the pot and pans, although they did have my set. So we did walk away with the pot and pan set, bitch. But this paint, this right here, what you see, girl, that wasn't on my menu. That was not on the menu, girl. But she came home. Because when I saw her, I said, girl, that's me, girl. I said, I want this cow in my house. So, girl, I picked up this cow, bitch, and now she's in my home. Girl, I got a Queen of Sheba ahead of Sheba, bitch, which is going to bring me to my next point, girl. I don't even know if it's Sheba, girl. We're just going to call her Sheba. It's one of them Hindu gods, Buddhist gods. I don't know who she is, but girl, girl, I'm going to call her Sheba for today. And girl, I have a Sheba head. It's a big old white Sheba head. Now, as we were going through the store, I saw 3 Shebas. It was like this set where it's like a candle, like a candle holder for tea candles. And it was 3 Shebas, all sitting up there doing a little meditation, they chakra. Lauryn Hill would approve. Girl, she was in alignment, and I said, oh, I have got to come, this Sheba has got to come home with me. So girl, I picked her up in the one in the center, her head came off. So somebody had broke her and put her back on the shelf like they hadn't done nothing, and her head had come off. But I said, girl, one monkey don't stop no show. I said, she's still coming home with me because, bitch, I'm fixing to take her home and super glue this head directly onto her shoulders, girl, and pay the conversation. But I said, no shade, because the head is broken. Okay, girl, she needs to give me a legendary discount, girl. I at least need 50%, girl, because who else is going to purchase this girl with her head snapped off in the center? So I said, girl, I'm going to go ahead on and pick. She's coming home. I'm going to get a 50% discount, girl, and pay the conversation. Now, there was 2 black guys. I think they probably were both gay, but I would say the one maybe was not. The one that I was initially dealing with, maybe he's a 50-50, maybe not. But the bald head, small head one, girl, that thing was a dirt queen in kabuki makeup, low grade kabuki makeup full of lead. That's why your skin is breaking out. And girl, if we were to wash your face, girl, who only knows, girl, the desperation and girl, corruption, okay, girl, the corrosion that lies beneath. But I digress. Bitch, I came to her, I said, hi, how you doing, sir? He was like, I'm doing just fine. I said, yes. Good, that's good to hear. I said, I want this Queen of Sheba. I said, but girl, the girl in the center is a little discombobulated. Her head has fallen off. I said, so I feel like, can I get a 50% or can I get a sickening discount on her? He said, I think you can, but let me go ahead and ask my boss. That's the dirt queen in low grade kabuki makeup. So he said he Shantae's his ass to her counter. Now, mind you, I'm looking. So she was right there because he was at loss prevention and she was at the first register. So I'm sitting there watching him talk to her, and he said, "Oh, yeah, he wants to buy the Queen of Sheba, but her head is broken. He was just asking could he get a discount." And Miss Thing looked at me, and then she looked at him. She didn't even say it to me, girl. Ooh, like trying it, right? So he looks at me, then looks at him and says, "Oh, we can't sell that because it's damaged. So we're gonna have to take that to the back and trash it or market damage it out or something to that effect." Now, this is the reason why I can't stand certain queens, because what it was is he was just being petty. Whatever his conversation was, what it was is he just had an issue with me, clearly. Because you know why? I worked retail too, boo. And I know how it works. And had you discovered that she was damaged before I got to her, then you could damage her out. But when I worked at Old Navy and when I worked at, when I worked at PetSmart, if there was something that somebody discovered, even if it was broken, but they wanted it, we could still ring it up and give them a sickening discount. It's up to the discretion of the person who is in charge. You don't have to damage it out if there's somebody willing to pay for it. But what it was is this bitch was like, that's a faggot and she's a feminine faggot. So bitch, I'm not going to damage it out, or I'm not going to give her a discount, girl. We're just going to damage it so she can't get it. So he was just being petty. And that's the shit what I'm saying. It's like, you really have to be miserable to do that type of shit. Because, okay, so even if you had given me a sickening discount, it would have been like $15 you would have been getting off of me for this particular product. Why would you, just because you're being petty for no fucking reason, why would you instead of getting, okay, yeah, maybe it was $30, but give me half price. Because the shit is broken. You would rather walk away from the deal with no coin than to walk away with half the coin on something that you're literally about to just throw in the trash. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? And I could just, and as soon as he said the girl, I put that thing down and walked away. Cause I said, bitch, I'm not even gonna give her the satisfaction, bitch. As soon as I saw her being like a late dirt queen, cause she was older too, I'm like, see, that's the thing, girl. Be graceful. Be graceful, Grace Kelly. See, everybody wants to be Grace Kelly, girl, but they don't have the grace. They're not gracious or graceful. Girl, it's like you clunking in here like a damn bull in a china shop, bitch. We heard you a mile away. We heard you before we saw you. And so, girl, you want to be the it girl, but you're it the clown girl. You understand? These girls can't take me because, bitch, you're bothered and I didn't even do nothing to you, you bitch. You're mad for no reason. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. So I'm just sitting there like, she really don't want to tell me this just because she's mad. She's mad. Girl, she's so upset. And girl, Aaliyah, I swear I don't know what to tell you. Because, bitch, at the end of the day, girl, it's your loss because you walked away from this money. And see, that's the thing. He probably figured, girl, it's only $15. Oh, well. See, that's the whole thing in the nutshell. These girls, what it is they see you and they figure, oh, somebody's going to come in here and buy something. So, oh, well. Dirt queen, just a dirt queen. And like I say, I'm sure maybe somewhere in his training, they do say that if you find something that is damaged, for you to damage it out. But I've worked retail and I know how it works. It's your own discretion. Because you know why? If you were to scan it on the machine don't know that the shit is broken. So it's up to you to be like, okay, we're going to scan it and then I'm going to go inside and punch in a discount so you can get the discount. If you really want this, even though you see it's damaged, girl, and you really want it that bad, he could have sold it to me. He just didn't want to. Just being late. Just so miserable. Like, there was another girl, too. One time I had gone to the club. What was it that he did? And I was like, wow, he really think he is just all that in a bag. I can't remember the specifics. But something happened to where we had gone in. And, okay, maybe what it was is somebody... This was when I didn't have no money, right? Like, I was really broke for real. Because I think the cover charge was maybe like $5. Or maybe on this night, it might have even been like $3. It was just... Whatever it was cheap. And so, but I had no money. So cheap when you have no money is still expensive. You understand? So anyway, my girlfriend was supposed to pay. And I think what it was is she gave the girl the coin for her and me. But maybe she didn't say that's what she was doing. Or maybe she said it and they did not understand. So when she gave the coin to her and walked in, the girl patted me down and I walked in too. But then you had this queen, she had like, grabbed my arm and was like, girl, I'm sorry, you need to pay, or something to the effect of you need to pay. And I was just like, girl, okay, number one, you don't have to touch me. Let's start with that. Number one, because, bitch, for this establishment, bitch, it's not that deep. Okay, this hole in the wall, smoky, all the girls in here are late. The only reason why we're coming out to begin with is because we wanted to go somewhere cheap where we can get cheap drinks. But this establishment is musky and dusty. So I don't even know why you're like acting like I'm pressed to be in here like that. You understand? Like, I could very easily walk out of here. So stop tripping. But he was just like, oh, girl, you need to pay, something to that effect. And I was just kind of like, okay, one thing about it, he just came in. I saw him give the money for him and me. He was like, oh, that was for the both of you? Why? You thought he was tipping you, bitch? Yes. It was for the both of us, bitch. I was like, oh, that was for the both of you? Yes, bitch. For the both of us. And so now I walked in and I was just telling my friend, I'm like, I hate girls like her because it probably in her everyday life, she don't feel important. So when it comes to this job, she be going above and beyond to feel important, like, oh, I'm the gatekeeper. So she does the most because she don't know what it's like to have power or to be important. She don't feel important in her real everyday life. So she likes to overextend herself and to abuse her power because this is the only time she's ever going to actually have an opportunity to do so. Because in a regular scenario, bitch, she wouldn't dare touch me. Not because I'm some YouTuber or nothing like that, bitch, but because the aura that I give you, bitch, don't touch me in a way that I don't want to be touched. That's just the whole motherfucking bottom line. You wouldn't dare touch me if you saw me in motherfucking streets in an aggressive way in that way. Cause the aura how I carry myself, bitch, I don't lend myself to a conversation that would make you feel comfortable to be like, let me walk up to him and just be in his face. Because that's what's gonna end up getting you hurt, Miss Thing. And that's just, especially with the girls that I'm rolling with, girl. Don't carry with me, girl. I'm not the girl to carry with. Okay? So, stuff like that be really irking me. And I feel like, in the gay community as a whole, we are always telling the children, oh, acceptance, and we are always trying to force people to see us. But the problem with it is we don't see ourselves. It's so much turmoil and so much like bullets flying and ricocheting and popping the wrong girl who had nothing to do with nothing. It's like, you want other girls to see you, but see, the black girls do that dumb shit too. They do the same shit. No shade. It's like, it's a problem. It's an epidemic. Like, why won't... Ooh, it just irks me. It really does. It really does piss me off, because I just be feeling like, instead of you trying to come for a bitch that is in your boat, why not... Okay, you know what? If it's 4 girls in the boat, currently I'm using the oar by myself. But what if I handed you an oar and we could paddle together? Would we get there quicker if I gave every girl a paddle so that they could actually help me do this thing? Put the oar and we could actually pump it together and get there quicker. But let me tell you what happens. It's 4 girls in the boat. One bitch got an oar. She got three additional oars, but she's gonna keep them to herself because she don't want nobody else having the materials that she has. So she's gonna keep it to herself and then be spinning around in circles getting nowhere. When all she really had to do was disperse the oars and we could all be in this bitch together helping each other get to where we're trying to go. But you see the mentality that we're dealing with? And I understand where it comes from, bitch. I get it. But as an adult, you have to make a conscious decision that, yeah, perhaps I was abused. Perhaps I got made fun of. Maybe I was ostracized, bitch. Pull a card and get in line, bitch. You ain't the only one. You ain't the first. You ain't the last, bitch. Girl, I went to private Muslim school where that's all they did. Was try to pinpoint me and try to comfort me and make me feel like something was wrong with me, bitch. Get in line. But do you think I'm gonna carry out throughout my life and treat other people the way that I was treated? Because I know how that made me feel. But you would think that people would be like, it hurt me to be treated that way, so I'm not gonna do it to somebody else. But instead they figure, oh, you know what happened to me? And I think they view it as like a rite of passage. And I was just talking to a friend of mine actually before I decided to do this tape read. And I actually need to wrap it up because my computer's about to die. But, okay, so I was on the phone with him and I was just saying to him, I was talking about a friend of mine who I'm no longer friends with because she tried it. And maybe one day I'll do another table read and talk about this late fucking piece of fish. Okay? This old tired ass queen. Okay? But... Okay, so I was talking to him and I was like, the issue with a lot of these black girls in the gay community, and it's not just the black girls, but I'm focusing on my black brothers and sisters just because obviously I'm a black person, but I'm just putting the focus on them, and then I'll come back to my Latino, my white, and everybody else on another night. But so I said, the issue is we live for girls that give the appearance of success. Girl, we live for a girl that is coming through with a fashion, and we covet that. But we don't really know what that bitch had to do to get to that point, and we don't even really know if in fact it's real or if in fact it's fraud. A lot of these girls within the LGBT community here that I have seen, and not only just here, girl, but in New York, New Jersey, Los Angeles, girl, they're all fraudulent. No shade. But the whole conversation for me is, okay, bitch, here it is. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can stretch my cord. Will she stretch? Because I don't want to end the conversation, especially if, girl, this shit is just getting good. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let me see. Is she good to go? Hold on a second, y'all. Girl, I'm about to go in on these queens for just a hot second, then we're going to close out. But anyhow, so it's like, okay, bitch, you're living for her, but the gag is, so this friend in particular, okay, I liked you. I was your friend when you lived at your mother's house. You had no job. You had just been fired. And I can go into why you were fired, girl. Although it don't matter. Y'all know her. Bitch, because you had gone to jail. You lost your job. And... girl, you told me that your car was stolen, but I later found out that she got repossessed because she was a buy here, pay here girl. You couldn't keep up with your payments. And so the girls came through to take your car away. And you lied and you said that, girl, the car had been stolen. And I didn't question you, bitch. Because I really, at the time, I felt like I didn't have a reason to, because I figured, why would he lie about his car being stolen? That's such a stupid thing to lie about. But I guess maybe he was embarrassed to say that his car was repossessed. Because honestly, I don't know if I want to say my car was repossessed. So I'm not going to even judge him on that. But my point was, bitch, when you were picking me up in your mother's car, bitch, I never judged you or kikied over top of your name. I liked you for who you were. But then you got mad because because once I got into a relationship, girl, you figured I wasn't available at all hours of the night the way that I used to be. And see, that's the thing about it. People, with me, I feel like friendships that I be having, sometimes these girls don't know how to... They can become very spoiled, really. Because I've had in the past, the same thing has happened where people feel like because when they call me, I'll stay on the phone with them and talk them through a situation and walk them through. And I'm very gentle. I'm honest, but I'm very gentle about it. When I give advice, girl, I'm giving you a 360. I'm based on the facts of the case. You know what I'm saying? So what it was is anytime he wanted to reach me, he could call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Can't possible. So I'm sitting there and this bitch is paying my calls. She's paying my text message. Girl, I emailed her or I commented on her, what was it, on her Instagram. And girl, she paid that. And girl, and I knew at that point it was just shade. Because at first I thought maybe she lost her phone. Maybe something happened with her phone. I didn't know what this bitch phone. Because she was posting photos on Instagram. Not only was she posting photos on Instagram, girl, but she was with a whole new group of girls. And girl, don't pull that bullshit about, oh girl, you got lost in the shuffle, girl. You know, because girl, who are you? And I'm just being honest, girl, who are you, bitch? Collectively, you may have 50 likes on your entire catalog of photos, bitch. You may have 3 comments, bitch, mine included. So don't act like I got lost in the shuffle, sweethearts, before I have to come through and pull your card, okay? Because bitch, don't nobody even know who you are for me to get lost in the shuffle, bitch. Okay, I'm the only comment on your page or on this photo. And you got about 130 photos, bitch. And collectively, bitch, you have 50 likes, bitch. So I don't understand why you're pretending like I got lost in the shuffle. Because that's what she tried to give me. Well, she didn't say that. But she was just acting like, oh, girl, my phone. When I ran into her after like a few months, 6 months or something to that effect. After she paid me, I ran into her at Gay Pride. And all of a sudden, hey, girl, I miss you, sweetheart. All this tea which she was trying to spill to explain herself. And because I'm not petty Anna, I decided, you know what? Like Solange, I'm just going to, girl, let bygones be bygones. This bitch is obviously trying to get back in my good graces. So I'm not going to make her beg for it, bitch. Because, girl, I'm not that girl. Because we did have a friendship. And I'm not going to make you beg for my friendship. Especially if you're explaining yourself and clearly you seem remorseful. But then this bitch, after she went through that entire dissertation, girl, after she took the whole case to trial, and we spent all this time in court, girl. All the evidence was presented. And, girl, the judgment ruled in your favor. After all of that, this is the part that really floors me. She gave me her new number. I text her. And I said something to the extent of, you know, I look forward to catching up. It's been a while. So, girl, lock me in. This is my number. Since you lost your phone, lock me in. And let's schedule a time to go out for drinks and, you know, update each other. Girl, she got that message. And she completely and totally paid it. So, fool me once, girl. Fool me twice. I enjoyed what you did the first time, bitch. So when I see her in the streets again, and she comes at me with this whole sob story about, oh, my phone was lost, so forth and so on, the conversation is going to be paid. To the left, to the left. To the left, to the left. Because, bitch, you tried that with me once, and I forgave you. Twice, girl, I'm not going to be sitting here with egg on my face twice. Girl, so it's paid. But here's my conversation. Here's the whole reason why I brought her up. I totally went to a different direction with that conversation. Why I brought her up was to say this. When we were friends, I was broke. I had no money. But she also had no money because she lost her job. But I liked you as a person because I thought you were a good person. Okay? But the girls that she rolls with now, I know those girls. I know them. I've actually hung out with a few of them. But why they're not my long-term friends is because the way they carry is you have to have a certain appearance about yourself for them to see you. If you're a bitch that's like me that just likes a nice t-shirt, a throwback t-shirt, and some cute jeans and some nice tennis shoes, then they're not going to see you, bitch. They want you to be that bitch who's always in Zara, wearing t-shirts and blouses that are 3 and 4 sizes too small. It's like, girl, you don't even look good. Girl, you look smothered. Girl, you look a pig in a blanket. Girl, you look a fool is what you look. But because it's Zara, somehow she's sitting over the competition. Girl, she just popped me in my eye because the button could not hold on any longer. But she's sickening. But she sits. Because the blouse was $130. But she can't even fit into the blouse. Like, she was reaching over to get her cocktail. She asked for a Moscow Mule. She was reaching over for her Moscow. And her blouse in the back, the seams in the back exploded. And now she's walking around with a Balenciaga top with a split down the middle. But she slays because it's Balenciaga? Okay, girl. Well, but this is what I'm saying. I feel like the girls he rolls with are girls that want to beef up their numbers to give the appearance of like a legendary entourage. But girl, like I know that I can't speak for them because I know some of them are pretenders, but I think some of them actually may have some money. But the whole conversation is what kind of life is that? Pretending the entire time. Trying to make somebody believe something that you yourself don't even believe. How sad. How miserable. When you were my friend, girl, you could just be. We went out, we had drinks, we talked about life, we talked about all kinds of things. The girls that you hang out with, girl, I've been to their house parties, girl, I've been to their soirees, I've had brunch with them, girl, I know what they give. And the reason why I have not seen any of them, haven't hung out with them in about 2 years, is because I was over it. Even when I had no money, I was over it. Because all their conversation at the table, the brunch, is so like surface and so basic and not even real. These are not even real friends. They're friends of convenience because we look good together, but we don't actually work well together. But that's what they give, and that's why I removed myself from the equation. But that's what you wanted. You wanted girls, and what kills me is the one friend that I talk about on this platform, they don't like each other. And I understand why they don't like each other. And both of them make good reasons on why they don't like each other. But the argument for me is, bitch, when you were coming from my other girlfriend, one of the reasons why you didn't like her was because you claimed she was the girl that I just described. But now I realize the real reason you didn't like her is because you saw in her what you wished to be on your own. You wanted to be like her. So that's why you had so much issues with her. Because all the girls you were wanting to hang out with, they lived for her. And you acted like you were so opposed to it. Like, oh, can't stand girls who are always wanting to be around girls who are like fake and just go off of appearances. But the reality is, at that time, now what I realize is what you really meant to say was, I wish I could be that girl, but they don't see it for me. So now I'm going to turn and make it seem like I don't like those type of girls because they don't like me. So it's not that you didn't like them. It's just that you felt like they wouldn't give you the chance, the time of day. So then it was like a defense mechanism. But now all those same girls is who he's friends with. So it's just ridiculous to me. But in any case, bitch, for me, my whole thing is this. Money is nice, clothes and all that shit is nice. Y'all know I treat myself to things from time to time. But I want real. Like, the reason why I get so excited, like, going into the summer camp thing is because I know, I'm almost 1,000% sure, we've surpassed 100, girl. I'm almost 1,000% sure that this shit is going to be lit. And I know that everybody's just going to be there to have a good time. And it's not going to be super judgy and like, oh, what is Ashley wearing? What's Steph wearing? What's Darby wearing? What's Keith Smith? It's not going to be all of that. Because this is family, girl. We're here to have a good time. And so, for me, that's the type of girls I would rather do that any day than to be in these girls who it's like it seems exhausting. Really, it really does feel exhausting because then they be on their Instagram taking like doing photo shoots and stuff. Who are you, bitch, to do a photo shoot? To like it's like they want to be a socialite so bad. They want to be that person so bad. And be trying so hard to be the it girl, to be the socialite, to be whatever. But for me, it's like, bitch, just be you. Just be you. But I think they realize in their own mind that who they are is not good enough. So it is what it is. Like I said, for me, I'm always going to be in the corner of the bitch that is just being herself, who is just presenting who she is. Thin, fat, tall or short, homely or gorgeous, bitch. That's the thing. That's another thing. There was a girl who was a supporter of my work, and she is morbidly obese. But she is so sweet. So sweet. The first time I met her, she said she was a fan. Girl, I gave her a big hug. And girl, we kikied for the rest of the night. And then from that point, I would see her, especially when I was going out a lot, I would see her all the time. And every time I would see her, girl, I would speak to her. We would kiki, we would laugh, I would ask for updates, how you doing, so forth and so on. So... But that's what it was. The girl that I'm telling y'all about, the one who all of a sudden be acting brand new and all of a sudden now is acting like she don't want to respond to my calls from 2 years ago whenever I was reaching out to her all those years ago. Okay, I remember one night we was at the club and she was like, girl, she don't, and she even actually said to me, she was like, girl, we can't do her. We can't do that look. And she actually, I was over there with her and we were dancing. Girl, I was like drunk at this point. But girl, we were dancing, bitch. And she was like voguing to get her life. And my girlfriend picked me, like bear hugged me and picked me up and carried me over to the other side. Now, I thought she was just doing that just to be like, I didn't think, initially when she did that, I didn't think she was doing it because of her. I just thought it was just something for her to do. Like, oh, hey girl, we miss you. Come back over to us. But when I got over to them, she had said something like, oh girl, we can't do that look tonight. She's not for us tonight. And I looked at her. And I was like, okay. And then I walked back over to her. I'm grown. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't touch me or pull me away from a situation if I'm in the middle of a conversation, bitch. I thought she was just being like, you know how you be drinking and then like being affectionate, not like in a flirtatious way, but just, I thought she was just being like affectionate as a friend. Like was just trying to hug me. But when she said that to me, I looked at her, I was like, okay. And then I went back over to her and was just like, okay. Where were we, girl? I'm sorry. I didn't tell her that's what had happened. But I was just like, oh, girl, whatever this was years ago. I don't remember what exactly I said. But I was just like, where were we, girl? Because I hate people like that. Oh, so she's fat, so she don't deserve friends? Like, I don't understand that. You know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. Now, this table read has gone above and beyond. But I love y'all down. I love you. Thank you so much for your continued support. What do we have coming out? We just released the podcast. Gaming. By the way, we've moved the live shows to Saturday. So for those of you that are on that tier, you know that we're going to be doing the show on Saturday. So just know that we're not doing the show today. We're going to be doing the show on Saturday because it seems like more girls are available on Saturday to do the show. And then, of course, on that day, we're also going to be releasing, we're also going to be making the episode available right after the show, immediately following the show. Additionally, when you see this, go to SoundCloud and download Mother Pat if you so choose to, because I'm going to be making her public for about an hour or two. So obviously other girls will be downloading it who aren't patrons just because I'm sure they're going to get a notification. However, that's besides the point. The girls that are on this platform, you have about an hour to 2 hours to download the track if you want the track. So when you see this, the track will be up and available for you to download for free. So that being said, I love you down. You already know the drill. Via Sablangeli Tigalisan, the best will always come through. And as always, until next time, babe, that's all there is.